since the work session will be
Sure, I can
next
answer.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things when you create when you go through the bid process and we do everything that we need to do for ordering supplies, designing structures, and so forth, all of this was done way back before bids went out. So what was wished for the cardio floor was a rolled floor. The rolled floor was not available when it was purchased, so a substitute was made. The substitute came in, the flooring is non-porous, or it's porous. So what winds up happening is the sweat, the icky stuff, all the dirt and germs and everything get into the floor. We saw that after it was ordered by the contractor. We received it, we had to make a change. There is a restocking fee that you'll see on this that goes back to the flooring, but we do now have a floor that needs to be approved so that we can lay a 2x2 tile that's non-porous and will allow us to have a cardio room available to our students by the beginning of next year. Because there was a mistake that was there, the contractor, the architect understands it. They are providing us with a $16,000 credit that we are going to see moving forward. The problem is we just simply can't put that $16,000 credit on the change order itself to make it available for me to approve up to that $25,000. So in all reality, this is a $16,000 change order that I could approve. However, I need board approval because it states $32,000.
Can I ask why, if it was, I guess, an error not working, why are you not getting a full refund? Or a full,
Yeah, because
the full coverage of it?
there was some shared ownership in that mistake. So we are receiving $16,000 towards that. That is something that we sat down and reviewed. I reviewed it with the architects and Victor, and while there is some shared ownership.
School and architect?
School and architect, correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
For us, we received it.
Yep. Yeah, and unfortunately, some of those things were done before the items were even purchased, so there's some mistakes that we can't really do anything about.
Any other discussion?
Dr. Mental, is this, or Tom, is this 16,000 covered, I guess, probably 1.7 kids?
Yeah, all change over.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
And is there any update on, will we be able to get the weight room equipment and the hard?
Deal with this first. Deal with this
Yeah.
first.
This morning, by approving this change order, allows us to get the weight room equipment that we have on hold.
All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Recommend approval for AG General Agreement to replace existing key systems throughout the interior doors of the LHS approved capital project.
Motion report to recommend approval of the AG Mural Agreement to replace existing key systems throughout the interior doors of Littlestown High School. This is the approved capital project. Do I have a discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Oh,
Who's the second?
Second, would.
all right, back. Any discussion? Still hearing none.
Yeah. So, this is just something that we got late after the work session that
Correct.
is for.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they're just not available before the work session.
And when's the work going to take place?
This was like last try to line those capital projects to be targeted.
Any others? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Can I ask why you're opposed to a key system that's integrated?
I didn't approve the capital project. Did you? Why should I approve this?
I'm just trying to, just trying to Figured it out, okay. All right,
Recommend approval of the River Valley agreement to install further mulch around the stadium for approved capital project.
oh, I have a, approval for recommendation of the River Valley agreement to install permanent mulch around the stadium. Do I have a second?
Second, please.
Okay, discussion.
Yeah, I have a question. This is a lot of money. And is it replacing something? Is it 100% necessary?
All the rocks and the gravel and the mulch that they have that washes down, this is a permanent system, so it doesn't wash down, and the kids can't go kick it and throw it, and
So it's hardly like a glue thing that's put together and goes around the
Yes.
base of the stuff?
You see the big clumps that are right before they won't be there anymore.
Yeah.
When it comes down, yeah.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
fix to that
so
process.
it's a fix, so you won't need to mulch again. So technically, it might be a little bit of savings, who knows? We've already planned one inside.
Okay, all right. That's all I need. Thank you for clarifying. I
Any other
appreciate that
questions?
very much.
Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Recommend approval of York Excavating Company for the ASIS paving bid, approved capital project.
Have a motion on the floor to recommend approval of,
Misty.
no,
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, that's all right, we're on, we got E, so we'll do E, and I'll come back to D.
Thank you.
Recommend approval of York Excavating the ACES paving bid capital projects. Do I have a second?
Second, please.
Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Nope, opposed.
Opposed?
Okay, recommend approval of the EV Craig agreement to seal coat and reline the basketball parking lot across from dams, approved capital project.
Letter D, recommend approval of DV Craig agreement to seal, coat, and reline the baseball parking lot across from there. Do I have a second?
Second, Rathworth.
Any discussion?
Yeah, this question, because I know that we've discussed doing some of the projects for the fields, is this gonna have to be redone when the stadium is,
No, shouldn't.
it shouldn't?
No,
Okay.
this is-
I just wanna make sure that we're not doing this, and then like, in a year and a half, when the stadium, if that moves forward from the majority of the board, that we have to do this again, because again, this is money, we wanna be, fiscally responsible.
Absolutely.
So, okay. Well, yeah, like, or if they're gonna be using that to go back and forth for possibilities and stuff, should we wait on this? Is it something that's in a dire emergency that people are falling and hurting themselves right now?
I think
If
this
not,
is-
can we wait on it?
This is a project for the summer, so most of,
This was, when we discussed the capital project, it was because that particular lot had never been seal coated.
Yeah.
And the kind of passion it was gonna get done. We put that in discussion with athletics, so the staging area was gonna be a different spot for the contract.
But if we do have this contract in the future, we would have an agreement that they would have to go through every day.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could put that in as it goes forward, because we just, if we approve this tonight, that we could put in there that if they damage it, they fix it at no cost to us. I would like to see that added, if that's something that kind of costs. Okay, thank you. Thank you, that's
No
all
problem.
the question I
No,
have.
They would be bringing us back as is, damaged.
We'd
It would be standard already if they already.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. I know Victoria shared a little while ago that it didn't need to be done and had never been, so I totally get that. I just want to make sure that as we move forward with the stadium project, that the big trucks coming in, that they need access, aren't going to ruin it and us have to do it again.
That's a good question.
Okay, thank you.
any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion carries. Recommend approval of the construction of legal services with Saxon and Stone for the remainder of 2024-25 at the same current rates. Continuation.
Is there a motion on the floor to recommend approval of continuation of legal services with Saxon and Stump for the remainder of 2024-2025 at the same current rate? Do I have a second? Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. Items for seconds noted.
No, you got it.
We got immigration on that.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Didn't have my track. Recommend approval of Saxon Stump for the 25-26 school year proposed increase.
Okay, a motion on the floor to recommend approval of Saxon Stump for the 2025-2026 school year with the proposed increases. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I would note that I do see that there are $10 an hour increases again. As Dave indicated, I project that to happen every year.
I projected that was the stock and labor projection for this upcoming year. So as Dave shared with me, the proposals that stock and labor was going to make anyway for 25-26 are the same that Saxon and
Yeah, he said in the meeting.
he said that.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we got a sweetheart deal to start with that, pretty low rates compared to other people, and then they continue to raise them. So hopefully, I know you're a great negotiator, Tim. You'll negotiate with the firm to keep the rates as low as possible, so we don't have to continue to pay, or else we might have to review our options.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
What do we do with that?
L1 is the only one that needs to get moved forward.
Recommend approval following L2, cafeteria fund checks, 3, student activity checks, 4, capital project checks, 5, Joe bond checks, 6, ELGIT fund checks, and 7, budget transfer request.
We got a motion on the floor for payment of invoices 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do I have a second? Do I have any discussion on those? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, recommend approval of the general fund checks.
I have a motion on the floor to approve the general fund checks. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion?
I pulled it because stock and meter bills, soon to be Saxon installed, whatever. I'm not happy with how I have to read those, and on top of that, I'm not happy with how undescriptive they are. A lot of it vague, very vague. This board back in January, February 2024 pushed for a huge amount of transparency when it comes to solicitor bills, and I'm not seeing it. I see things that are very vague in there that should be more descriptive. That's my problem with that. So until I can see and have that information, I'm not going to vote to compensate. Well, we didn't vote against transparency, we voted for attorney-client privilege.
Okay, at this time we're going to take an executive session. Okay, this time we're breaking for an executive session.
You don't even know what happened.
The executive session is discussion of legal and personnel matters.
We're in the middle of the motion.
Yeah.
Hold that thought.
I'll be going to the court. Hypocrite with a B. Oh, they have that every time.
Oh, they do?
That, yeah, that's placeholder every time. I don't know if I answered it this time or not. That's always there. They have to like reporting checks.
It's not an official vote, but they, when they have their discussion, they go with majority. So if majority was 3-1, the last meeting, which it was, I was actually here for that meeting, so I watched it, 3-1. And why are they saying you have to report, the one you can't go with majority of the recommendation, majority recommendation was 0.
Right. And I
It's
think,
not a vote, it's not an official vote, it's just a recommendation.
and I think that we'll see what the official minutes say, but I thought that they said, who knows, they're doing some shaping minutes, but, I mean, it's not the secretary's fault, it's the manager's fault, they telling her what to do, but.
I'm just saying, it wasn't, they don't take official votes, because the reason why they can't take official votes is because they don't have a majority, board majority on the committees, which is, there's a purpose for that, there's a reason for that, which is fine. But if they're not taking the votes in the committees, which they're not, then why can't they just say the committee by majority, not majority vote, but by majority, in attendance at the committee, majority of attendance at the committee. If they have a majority, which the last time they did, we had to say the majority in attendance recommends to the board
My
X,
understanding,
Y, Z.
my understanding of what Nichols said was that they would amend the minutes to clarify that the majority represented 0, lawyer said 1, and the administration also recommended it being 2.
So they're gonna just put, it's like pea soup, they're gonna put everything in there.
Yeah, and Litchell and, Thompson and Showbaker, I believe, said that that's traditionally what this board has done.
Okay.
Is that when they, going all the way up through till they actually have the May final proposed budget that they post to the public, that they include all the options for the entire board to see until the board picks one
Okay.
for the May meeting,
All right.
just so the whole board can see. But my understanding was that, again,
The
Okay.
secretary is only doing like a minute what she's being told to do.
Sure.
And I believe that Mitchell Helen said, you know, that they would amend the minutes.
Okay, so that's fine. So what's the point of them making this comment in reference to, it's not
That only those people were
no,
not.
it's not a, shoot, you recommend an official, the transcript, it's not a transcript. They kept saying it's not a transcript, you know, of course it's not a transcript.
Well, no, yeah.
But that's what they said.
Well, Carl. I don't know.
It's pretty obvious it's not a transcript.
Yeah.
Kind of came out of nowhere. It's not a transcript.
That's just, you know, well, we didn't say that exactly right, that's what it was going to say. Blah, blah, blah. And, just like they approved the minutes without, you know, my sunshine objections accurately. And even Mitchell admitted it last month. But then the lawyer said, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a lawyer, that's kind of what I felt about.
I don't know.
And now the lawyer's firm changed their name or something. A lot of interesting things happening.
When Stock and Leader comes out with delete your emails from the top, they should change their name. That's what's getting published in the paper because that's exactly what
She got up.
that's exactly what apparently said. That Stock and Leader have advised them to delete public records, delete emails from the top so that there's nothing to turn over if anyone asks. And I would change my law firm's name after that came out too.